everyone. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a good one. I know, well, I I woke up at 8 p.m. Because my sleep schedule is weird, and I had to wash a car, and then, had to wash a car at a weird time or something. Ugh. And waking up at 8 p.m. is not great. Anyway, so, Star Citizen, the game I'm playing, the game I rant to you every week, and I don't have anything to say. I'm just gonna be honest there. We had the drama, the stream drama resurface, and a lot of more, Moist Critical did a video on it, and that got more attention than the Squadron 42 trailer, which, I do think is definitely a fumble for CAG. That is not helpful for them. It is not a good thing. But also, I think somebody mentioned that there actually might have been more. Either there were more players, or there was some event in that past where actually all this bad press just got more people to play the game. Which I would totally believe. Oh, and I guess the inventory search thing just ain't working. Cool. Okay. I can probably find spare S38 ammo. Yeah. So, I don't know, and, the drama, really, the drama, unfolds as it usually does. People get angry, and then people forget about it. And, there is some legit criticism to have, but also, I don't know, it's always played out in the extreme. Or at least closer to the extreme than it needs to be. I don't know what happened to my dragonfly. It probably blew up somehow. You know what? I think my entire ship probably blew up, or I lost it or something. I can't remember. Well, I don't know. And I feel like I have a tendency... Yeah, my ship definitely blew up. Oh. This is the stock loadout. You know what? We can deal with that. It doesn't matter. So, I'm going to mention Helldivers 2 a lot, I think, because, I've been playing that game, and I've been enjoying that game, and, again, Star Citizen doesn't need to be Helldivers 2. But, I don't know, I do really like the Major Order thing that they do with, Helldivers, even though it's definitely not perfect. And it is very much I don't necessarily think they could not just outright copy it in, Star Citizen, because Helldivers 2, you are a part of, one faction, Super Earth. That's not the case here. Whatchamacallit? Sorry, yeah. The little blurbs, the dispatches, I think are, like, great. This is, like, right when the Devoid of Liberty 1. Maybe it's 1.7. Devoid of Liberty, that's what it's called, though. That update came out, and there's like, oh, we're going into the void and doing all this Illuminate stuff, and they have like, the dispatches have been great, and they are telling a little story in like the the best way they can. With, as you know, like, they can't, like, they don't have missions where you can board the DSS. They don't have a campaign where you just go onto the, where you just play Dead Space. But they're basically telling a similar-ish story, I think. I haven't played Dead Space. And I think I've maybe seen it, a Let's Play, like, one time or something. But yeah, like that, those dispatches are great, and it does remind me of the fact that Star Citizen did have lore posts every Tuesday until they stopped doing that. I'm sorry, what? I clicked the button and it didn't take... Oh my god. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so there's definitely like something there that they could do. I don't know what exactly would be. I mean, to have like, oh hey, there's this like ongoing storyline, which I guess also that's, I don't know, dude. I mean, that kind of, it feels like that's kind of stopped. Like they haven't really done anything with that in a while. Kind of like they had this great idea and they just kind of abandoned it, or didn't really like follow through with it that well. Like the whole Jorrit storyline thing was cool, but they didn't really do that much with it. Well, I don't know if they didn't do much with it, but it feels like they kind of just dropped it, and there's not really... I don't know if there was going to be a conclusion, but, you know. It does feel like... I mean, honestly, at this point, I think that, I hope that the narrative team is putting their resources where they really should, in terms of, like, you know, they probably should focus on Squadron. I'm gonna make a wild guess and say, and hope that, yeah, that's what they should do. And then as far as Star Citizen goes, like, you know, after Squadron releases, they can probably focus a lot more on Star Citizen, and by the time that they want to do Squadron 42 Chapter 2, they can either hire more people for a writing team, or they can, you know, potentially chip away at the script and try and do, like, you know, get ready, so, like, oh, okay, we're gonna spend, you know, for every 5 hours of working on Star Citizen's script and narrative stuff, we're going to spend, you know, 1, 2, 3, or whatever, you know, working on Squadron 42, and then we'll, you know, have some of the work done ahead of time, and then flip-flop it when priority comes around. I don't know. But really, the thing that I think they really need, in terms of, like, ways to keep the game engaging and interesting, I think, is just simply Star Sim, where, like, there is a system where you can, you know, interact with the game, you know, like, feels your actions, feels the impact you have on the verse, and it actually does make a difference. The only problem is that most people, I think, don't think that StarSim is going to be the grandiose thing that we got teased with in 2019. I don't really see any reason. I don't really see any reason that we wouldn't get that. But I mean, I also understand the hesitation because we haven't heard anything about it in like 4 years. It might have been 3 years, but that like thing in 2023 would have been like, yes, StarSim exists. It might have been the thing where we found out that they changed the name from Quantum to StarSim. Which, you know, not the most productive of changes, if we're gonna be honest. I don't think. But yeah, I think that system can do, like, that system genuinely is like one of the things that got me like super interested. But I think at the end of the day, oh my god, are we gonna shoot me for some reason? That was an animation, huh? What was I gonna say? Where's sometimes there are medical boxes here. Oh well. I don't know. People are super meh about everything right now. Like, CIG has to do better at communicating. Like, that's actually kind of fucking disgusting that they have the subscription stuff and then, like, they don't acknowledge the fact that, yeah, we said that this thing where you optionally pay us money would pay us more of, would allow for more content, and then we, didn't, and then, you know, we just dramatically, you know, reduced the amount that we do of that, and haven't explained why. I mean, there can be several good explanations, there can also be several bad ones. And, frankly, it might not be something horrible. And they could, I have to imagine they could probably honestly and realistically explain their situation and have it be understandable, I'm sure. But they just don't say anything. So people, like, naturally are going to assume the worst, and that's not completely unfair. And, I mean, like, if I'm the most optimistic person, I can't deny that it could be the worst, you know, thing ever. Or it could be the worst situation where, like, I don't know, like, we're just like, there's no progress being made. But yeah, it's certainly a thing. Yeah. What else? I am starting to think more and more that, like, we're in the state where we just need to, like, get features finished. Because, like, 2025, in my mind, was just, like, you know, like, they couldn't run the, like, they didn't have any features. It's not that they were taking a break from features, it's that all the feature work was not going to be ready, like, in time to really do things the regular way. So, you know, they went with we're doing, like, a content-heavy year, and, we went with a content-heavy year, and that, and now that we actually have, like, features that are close to done, you know, we can actually play around with stuff here. And I think, like, I think that's probably fine. okay. Thought I just dropped my gun, but like I didn't. Good. There were definitely some corpses here that have already despawned. Isn't necessarily a bad thing, I suppose. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think, that we just need to get some of these features out. I don't want to be I don't want to be like, oh yes, well, you see, the reason that we don't have like a lot of new locations or anything is because they've been waiting to do it with they've been waiting to get Stark Attack out and released. But I'm also pretty sure that they've talked about actually using Stark Attack before. And like maybe I'm wrong, because I gotta tell you, like they mentioned the new flight model, like. God, I really want to say a decade ago. They didn't. Although they might have been talking about a new flight model a decade ago. But anyway. We've been waiting on it for however long, and I'm like, oh, well, like, this doesn't seem like an insane change. They'll just implement it, and I was almost kind of certain that they made, like, a little change, and that little change was the entire flight model. I'm like, and then I found out it wasn't. I'm like, oh. And I do think at the end of the day that, like, the flight model, like the things like that, we gotta just get them in the game. And, like, that kind of thing would help so much. Because, like, I don't even know where the hell... I do not even know remotely where the hell the balance and the meta is for ship combat. I frankly, like, at one point I was like, ooh yeah, ship combat, that sounds fun. And now I'm like, I don't fucking want to touch this with a 10-foot fucking pole. Like, I don't care. This just isn't fun. And like, not to yuck anyone's yum, but that's just like... how I'm feeling nowadays. Yeah, we'll do this. It's just how I'm feeling nowadays. And we'll just, treat this as expendable here. Let me just make sure my... Let's make sure I have a good amount of, ammo. Oh, or the inventory could bug out? Huh? Okay, so... well, let's just appreciate this. I don't know exactly what's going on here. Well, whatever, this item is not a magazine, but it's showing up as a magazine. And it's just linking to other things. As fun as it would be to run around with a coffee can equipped to an ammo slot. I mean, that's not totally off base. What was I gonna say? Oh, but yeah, I don't know, and maybe I would like ship combat, if I understood it better, but, well, that's a whole other thing, really. But no, yeah, it's like, get this out, and then we can balance it, and I just don't understand how it's taken this long to, like, I don't know what the team's doing. It's not necessarily that, oh, how could it possibly take this long to do it? There is presumably an explanation, and like, I'd love to know it. Give them a chewy target to sink their teeth into. We'll just take the 300. Oh god. I don't know what it is. Also, Helldiver is... I hit C, and I will hit C and it will do nothing. And then I hit it, you know, like 5 times, and then I will crouch, and it's like, you know, standing still. And I just hit 1 to go to my pistol. I've rebound the keys. Door? Are we serious? Oh my god. Oh my god, no! Don't do this to me! Okay, well, I don't think that's gonna work. Sorry, yeah, I think the main point I want to get at is that we just have to accept that things are going to be slow. And, for one thing, but they really do need to, like, I need to know, if you're going to pretend to be, you know, open development, then I need to, like, actually know what's happening. I don't need to, like, have the day-to-day play-by-play. I just need to know, like, hey, this team is doing this. Oh my... You already reloaded! Oh my god. I just need to know, like, you know... I mean, if you conveniently had 12 teams, or like 12 disciplines or something, just like having an update every month, even, you know, would be fine. I don't necessarily, you know, I don't need... It doesn't need to be something too crazy. It just needs to be... It just needs to exist. Oh, also the Stingray. The Stingray is not the ship. I wanted a Spirit competitor. That was just a little bit more combat focused, a freelance or miss, if you will. And, that is not what it was. I still don't think it was unrealistic to expect that, but it, is not what we got. I don't think it's terrible. I don't know, I think it needed a minute to grow on people. But, I don't think it's terrible. What it is, I think, is kind of just mediocre. Still do be getting... I don't know if that was really desync, to be fair. That just felt weird. Oh, great. What? No, stop. What? Calm down. Abort. Just in time. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the med pen there. Something weird. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Stingray, man, like, I don't know how much people care about medium fighters, and I told this to Solar, and then he was like, well, the Hornet Mark II exists, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But then you also have, like, random shit with, like, the Hornet Mark II, where, like, it is a better heavy fighter than the F8. And, like, cause I'm realizing that it's like, well, you know what? Yeah, no, they totally just, like, solely based a lot of this stuff. Okay, what item do we get now? Oh, I guess nothing. I guess the game figured out the error of its ways. Damn. But yeah, like, they do so much shit based on vibes, and it's kind of annoying. Like, I will say that I think I mentioned this before, right? That they did mention at some point armor or weapons, sorry, you know, heavier weapons having more like of an input delay or sort of like a looking delay, like ergonomics, the same sort of thing as ergonomics in Helldivers 2, which I think is like, yeah, no, it like, it's a really good way to, like, the way that Helldivers 2 works with, like, weapon customization and ergonomics, yeah, that's actually is actually a really interesting thing, and it's a way to differentiate weapons. Like, yeah, like, submachine guns, I mean, submachine guns aren't super long range, but they're super fast to move around, so it makes them better for, you know, for close quarters stuff. And of course, they also have, you know, the one-handed trait, so you can, you know, have them with the shield, but I'm sure I'll have more reason to be excited about ballistic shields in the future of Star Citizen. I'm sure, absolutely. And like, you know, everything has a purpose. Everything has like an advantage, and then like, God, like the backpacks, where you have like a jump pack, you have a hover pack, you've got, you know, weapons that need backpacks. You know, that that is another great way to, I mean, like, they don't, like, the backpacks don't necessarily have cons as much as, like, they are attached to this really cool, good, effective weapon. And, like, the real disadvantage is just that, you know, you can't have multiple backpacks. So you have to pick and choose what you want. And, you know, by choosing what you want, you choose what you don't have. So, you know, like, and that, what? I'm sorry, what? Okay, the way the magazine looked just seemed a little weird and funky. Yeah, things are, whereas, and, like, that's comparing, like, you know, it to current Star Citizen, because Starware is, you know, supposed to help with that or whatever, and, like, who knows. But, yeah, it's, it'd be so nice if we had more things, because the more, like, and I don't know, why am I still playing Star Citizen? Why haven't I just taken another break? Because honestly, when I took a break, I don't know what I would play. Which is kind of to say that, you know, maybe Star Citizen has actually ingrained, become too much of my life. And I really, maybe I should take a step back. Like a real serious step back. Pretend it doesn't exist for like 6 months or something. Come back to it with a fresh face, but with more of a fresh face. I think that break did that though. But yeah, no, it's like, I don't know. I'm really hoping that we get a Oh, I will say also with the ship showdown, I don't give a fuck. It was funny because Solar told me about it, and then he was like, "Hey," well, I had a misunderstanding because he was like, "Hey, we have I was under the impression that doing the ship participating in the ship showdown, you would be able to obtain special grade A industrial components." I was like, okay, that's weird. That is not the case at all. What happened was he told me, "Hey, I've been doing the Reco missions. They get you a ship with grade A. Hey, I was doing the Reco Battalion missions. By the way, you should do the ship showdown stuff. They give you the grade A components, and then something about the ship showdown. Like literally, like topic A, topic B, topic A, topic B, like some kind of fucked up rhyme, and I look at that and I read it and I'm like, did you seriously fucking send this to me in this order? Like, what absolute madman would think of this like that? So that was kind of funny. I don't give a rat's ass about the ship showdown. I will say, I will slightly prove myself a hypocrite because I will say, I did put my vote in for the Reclaimer, but that was only because, well, I think, like, Solar and me have done a few mining salvage things or whatever, and like, you know, I don't even know if it's the mole that's actually on, if it's the mole or the moth. I don't know which one is up for, you know, whatever, but like, we're not really fans of the mole and moth. And, like, even though the Reclaimer is old, like, the Reclaimer gets the job done. It, like, is a ship that works. In spite of its age. Yeah. But, oh, the UTV versus the MTC. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Look, I like the MTC, but the UTV actually has goddamn utility. Like, the UTV can actually take loot that's worth a damn. And, like, I might change my tune if they added any actually good and interesting 1/8 SCU box things. You know? But they haven't. So, like, or any, like, reason to use a ground vehicle with 1/8 SCU boxes. I mean, I'm sure maybe it could be good. Maybe with Star Architect, maybe having, oh yeah, you don't want to use your ship to jump to this place, just use an MTC. Yeah, sure, okay. But then the UTV can also be good, and it's cheaper, and it fits in more vehicles. And the MTC is just, I mean, yeah, the UTV has a turret. Well, you know, they talked about they've wanted to have, for you to be able to use weapons in at least the passenger seat, if not also the driver's seat, for fucking ever. Just get on that instead of giving us, like, an armored vehicle that's, you know. And I do like the I do genuinely like the MTC, but it's not as I think the UTV is more utilitarian, and I will say that the UTV isn't utilitarian whenever they introduce something. Well, something that has the functionality of the FSC, but something that looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing. To be frank with you. I think I was gonna buy ammo. And also reinsure my ship, which I've just completely derped. But yeah, I genuinely don't fucking care anymore. I don't know what and when. I have like $100 in store credit. I want to melt my wolf, because it's... I want to melt or upgrade my wolf, and I don't quite know what, or how that's going to play out. I don't want to give CAG any more money. Frankly, if I melted the wolf, had however much store credit, then I would, and just exclusively, purchased gear, I'd be completely, I would be good. I would, be happy with that. And I wish that they would, I wish they would do things like have the monthly bundles actually separate them out into items, like we've been saying for years. As soon as they implemented that, God, and yeah, and like, you know, $5 for a weapon, however expensive for the armor, and then however expensive for the ship skin, and then like a, you know, 10% off bundle. Because right now they don't really have that 10% off, even though they're a bundle. Oh, also, you know, with the subflare, God, I mean, listen. There is the reality that the subflare, like, is, you know, a thing, and it's like, how much are you getting? How much bang for your buck are you getting? And, I mean, they gotta be, like, they gotta be real here with, like, I mean, they gave us a weapon and a ski mask or whatever, a neck gaiter, whatever the fuck they want to call it, a mask. Like, you know, and I mean, they've done weapons and clothing as like a single thing before, I think. Maybe not. But they've also done multiple weapons. They've done multiple... I think I just went with the free... Well, I hope I went with the free loadout. Actually, you know what? You should probably make sure. But yeah, so like... You know, they had like an entire clothing... An entire, you know, clothing set. An entire, you know, like... a primary and a secondary, and, you know, other things like that, and it's like, they don't do that anymore, and it's really weird. And the reason that it's really, really weird is, like, they decide, like, for monthly bundles, okay, so we have the CQ7, the Fury, and whatever the clothing set is, right? That, you know, it exists as the Goldsmith, the Goldsmith, bundle and paint scheme. You don't have a P4 Goldsmith, and as far as, you know, they've done, I would not expect to see a P4 Goldsmith. Because that's not how that works, and that doesn't make any fucking sense, because it's like, if they were like, okay, we're gonna have a black and gold set, and then we're going to have white and blue, and we're going to have yellow and electric blue, or yellow and orange, or, you know, copper and brown, and whatever, you know, color combinations they want to do. You know, like, they only release it one time, and with, like, one weapon, one armor set, one thing. Why? Why would you do that? Like, reuse it, and, you know, give us I mean, God, at least, like, at least an armor set, at least a, at least at least a light armor set, medium, and a light, medium, and a heavy set, at least, like, a primary weapon, and a secondary, maybe let's say a pistol, rifle, shotgun, SMG, LMG, sniper, like at least a full kit there, and then like a few ships. It doesn't have to be like anything super crazy, but I don't know. I feel like I mean, fuck, I would love to see like whatever the Dust Devil Gold Blossom would be. I'd love to see Stitcher Gold Blossom. I'd love to see whatever the new Damascus one is. I would love to see that in any other armor set. And it's like that cannot be. There is no fucking way that would be an insane amount of effort to say, hey, instead of making a new color scheme, let's do the old color scheme and just modify it for this other armor. Like, maybe sometimes sometimes it just isn't going to work out that well, right? I mean, how do you do gold on, like, the Stitcher core, right? I think you could definitely do it, but, like, it doesn't have, it's not built the same way as some of the other armors, right? Sure, okay. I can understand that at least a little bit, right? But, yeah, if you want me to, like, not care about throwing a little bit of money, like, God, if I could have just gotten the CQ7, I would have just gotten the CQ7. I spent more, I stupidly spent more money than I should have, sure. But, like, I don't know. It would still be nice. It would be nice to be like, you know what, like, well, I don't know. It would be nice to be able to be like, yeah, I can support the project. I'm just not going to spend hundreds of dollars with it. And the fact that, like, they still haven't done that, they haven't really made it super accessible to spend low amounts of money. To spend less than $10, less than $5, you can spend less than $5. Let's say you were like, okay, I want to be able to buy something from Star Citizen every month, and want to pay less than $5. Well, like, you're not going to be able to do that, because, like, a lot of the things that are under $5, you might be able to spend, less than $5 a month, but you have to have access to the subscriber store. Is just how that ends up working. Less than $10, you're gonna run out of things very quickly, if you're just the gear store. I guess if you wanted to spend $20 a month, and it had to be $20 a month, it couldn't be like, whatever, $240 a year. Which, I don't know, maybe it's a completely ridiculous thought, sure, but yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. I honestly, at this point, like, I'm kind of like, they have to, like, talk about something, or they need to just shut the fuck up about being open development. Like, and, there's, like, some technicalities of, like, somebody's gonna say that, like, even if they stop doing Inside Star Citizens, they're still open development, and I don't know. That might technically be true, but it is literally just them not doing as much work. There is an entire, like, hey, the subscriber program exists, for the, you know, to fund the shows. People are paying for subscription, and they're definitely not doing as many shows, if any shows. And let's forget my nitpicking about, you know, Behind the Ships isn't actually showing any development of the ships. It's just advertising a new ship in front of no, you know, behind the scenes things. And ISCs are basically the same now. And the only thing we maybe have in terms of actually showing development is Star Citizen Live. And, like, I mean, the last one was a live stream where the game ran as crap as the game usually does. Except it was on a private, you know, small server. Or, you know, low population private server that should have been the best case scenario, and it didn't really run that much better than live. And, you know, that's like, yeah. And then, you know, the entire internet just exploded over it. Except it wasn't the entire internet, it was, you know, our own niche about it. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. I'm not too hopeful. I'm playing Helldivers. I am going to stream Star Citizen on Sundays. I think I do have to reconsider streaming on Wednesdays, though. There's just not enough shit to do. And, like, I could rant. I could... I could rant, and I could keep ranting. But it is what it is. I stream on Sundays, and I don't know, I'll still probably stream on some Wednesdays for Star Citizen. I also stream Mondays and Fridays. That's at twitch.tv/Railu. That's RAILU with an underscore at the end. Link is in description. Until next time, good day, great day even. Chowskis.